We are back for the second half here on ASN Chicago for St. Joseph football. They lead the Catalyst Maria Wolves 16-0 after one half. I'm Connor Klingon here with you, as I will be all season here on ASN Chicago, and St. Joseph will receive the opening kickoff in the second half. Zach Ford is back deep for the Chargers. Here's the kick. It's a line drive. It's actually going to be caught at the 15-yard line and to the near sideline, making a spin move to the 25 was Justin Freeman, who took that return for the Chargers.
Justin Freeman returns that one up to about the 25.
So that is where the Chargers will start their first offensive possession of the second half. In the first half, it was 2 touchdown passes and 2 two-point conversions that created the 16 points for the Chargers. The first was to Tim Shannon in the corner of the end zone, who found himself wide open, and then Desmond McPhail caught a touchdown in the second quarter. Hayden's in the shotgun, 3 receivers to his right. They hand it off right away and stopped for a loss.
Zion Timms on the carry.
It was Zion Timms who had the carry there for the Chargers.
Taken down in the backfield, 2nd and 13.
It'll be 2nd and 13 for the Chargers. Trips to the right for Hayden. Timms in the backfield, they give it to him, and he gets back to the original line of scrimmage, so it'll be 3rd down and 10 for the Chargers with just over 11 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Trips to the right, 1 receiver to the left. It's Dakota Church. Hayden rolling to his right, facing pressure, throws it deep. He finds Church wide open near midfield, but he can't make the catch.
Hayden's pass falls incomplete over the middle.
As Dakota Church was wide open. There was nobody within 10 yards there. And, you know, sometimes it can be more difficult to catch the ball when you're that wide open. You start thinking about it too much, and that may have been what happened to Dakota Church there. And the Chargers will be forced to punt as it's 4th and 10. Zach Ford is the punter for the Chargers. Back deep to return for Catalyst Maria is A.J. Robinson. Robinson standing about midfield to return the punt. Ford, it's a good snap. High punt. It's a nice punt. Backs Robinson up to about his own 35, and he is brought down at about the 32. Great punt and great coverage there by Desmond McPhail coming down to make the tackle. Dakota Church was there as well on the coverage for the Chargers. So the Wolves will start inside their own 35-yard line. And that's something the Chargers have been doing well all night, is this field position battle. On special teams, doing well to force the Wolves into bad positions. And the defense for the Chargers, of course, still pitching a shutout. But the offense hasn't gotten into that same rhythm that they did last week against South Beloit. 16-0, St. Joseph with the lead. 10:50 to play, third quarter. Randolph in the shotgun for the Wolves. 4 receivers out wide. Rule in the backfield with Randolph. They fake the handoff to him, go with a reverse, and this is taken by Sandifer, and Sandifer is near a first down, and he has it. He was hit hard by McDade Bishop. Boy, that's the second time we've seen a huge hit from Shamar McDade Bishop, but the Wolves will take the first down all the way to the 45-yard line, a gain of 12 there for the Wolves. Bishop came all the way back from his defensive line spot to make that tackle. Actually, they have Bishop right now playing at a linebacker spot. You know, early in the season we saw him putting his hand in the dirt, but here tonight he's playing in the middle of this Charger defense. And that's pretty impressive for somebody of his size who can move like that. Randolph in the shotgun, 4 receivers out wide, Rule in the backfield with him. Takes a snap, hands it off immediately to Rule. No, they fake it to Robinson, and Robinson is dragged down in the backfield at about his own 30. So a big loss there as in there to make that play was Antonio Hardaway. Huge loss there for the Wolves as they find themselves at their own 35-yard line, a loss of 15. It'll be 2nd and 25 here with 9.5 minutes to play in this third quarter. And we'd like to remind you the third quarter of tonight's game is brought to you by Meatheads in Elmhurst. Meatheads serves fast, casual, fresh experiences. You can bring your family there today. Meatheads at 143 North York Street in Elmhurst. 4 receivers out wide for the Wolves. Randolph in the shotgun, Rule in the backfield. They hand it off to Rule, but this is stopped before the play. Could be a false start. And indeed it is. It'll push the Wolves 5 yards further back. They're now at their own 30. 2nd down and 30.
2nd and 25 for Catalyst Maria.
Yeah, they seem to be getting a little bit nervous here as we're taking a look at the Wolves' offense. They haven't really been able to produce all too much tonight. They got nothing on the scoreboard.
Rather, it's 2nd and 25 as it was 2nd and 20 there. So 2nd down and 25 from their own 30-yard line. 4 receivers out wide for the Wolves. They hand it off to Rule, and he's stopped in the backfield. The Wolves continue to move backwards on this offensive possession. A big loss there as the Chargers D is starting to get into that backfield. So 3rd and very long here. First down marker is at the 45-yard line of St. Joseph, and right now the Wolves find themselves at their own 25. It's a long 3rd down. Randolph will fake the handoff. He's going to run it the other way, but he's stopped pretty quickly at about the line of scrimmage. So the Wolves will be forced to punt with about 7:40 left here in the third quarter. Player is down for the Wolves. And unfortunately, it looks like it may be quarterback Stacy Randolph who is down for the Wolves. Of course, it's unfortunate to see any player down, but to lose the starting quarterback would be a monumental blow to Catalyst Maria. Wolves training staff is out there. And Randolph is back up on his feet. Good to see that, and he's walking back to the sidelines. Great news for Catalyst Maria. But now Randolph is showing a jog, so it looks like he's okay, but obvious punting situation for the Wolves.
Marion Perkins, please find Miss Travalis.
So an obvious punting situation for the Wolves. Zach Ford back at his own 45-yard line to return the punt. Low snap, but the punt gets away, and Ford calling for a fair catch. He'll let this one bounce, and it will take a roll to about the 47-yard line. So the Chargers will start in Wolves territory. And that's been a common theme tonight. St. Joseph with great field position starting in Catalyst Maria territory, but they've been able to score just 2 touchdowns. The 2 passes by Caleb Hayden, one to Tim Shannon, one to Malik Mason. And Hayden and the offense trot back out onto the field. They go with a much faster tempo than Catalyst Maria does, and we'll see if they use that their advantage here with 7:17 remaining in this third quarter. Hayden in the shotgun, 3 receivers to his right. Ford comes in motion. They hand it to him on a sweep, and he's able to pick up a couple to the 45.
End around to Zach Ford, and that's a couple yards.
So a nice run on the end around by Ford. But a player down now for Catalyst Maria. Wolves training staff coming back out. as Mark Weber is the player down for Catalyst Maria. And at this time, we'd like to remind you that the third quarter of tonight's game is also brought to you by CleaverSupplements.com. Cleaver Supplements for when genetics are not enough. Seen a few injury timeouts here tonight, but looks like the Wolf player is back on his feet, and it actually is Mark Sanchez. And he is heading back to the sidelines.
For St. Joseph pledge drive currently underway. Please make a pledge today.
So good to see him back up on his feet for the Wolves. 16-0 is the score. 6:59 remaining in the third quarter. Hayden in the shotgun, trips to the right, one receiver to the left, and one man in the backfield. Ford comes in motion again. They fake the handoff to him. Hayden looking deep, going down the sideline, and trying to make the catch there is Malik Mason, but he couldn't come down with it. Well, the Chargers took a shot downfield there. It didn't work out for him. So it'll be 3rd down and 8. St. Joe trying to create those one-on-one matchups downfield. As Hayden's in the shotgun, Ford will come in motion. Hayden looking to pass, going deep down the middle of the field, and it was almost intercepted there by Darius Turner, but he dropped it for the Wolves. So it'll be 4th down and 8 and another punting situation for the Chargers. So Zach Ford is back out to punt. And we've seen a couple of throws tonight from Caleb Hayden into some tight coverage, and there that ball just a little bit underthrown, and it nearly was a costly mistake. Ford back out to punt. And to receive it is A.J. Robinson for Catalyst Maria. A little bit of a high snap. Not a bad punt. It'll bounce at the 10 and be a touchback. It took a big bounce there into the end zone. So Catalyst Maria will start at their own 20-yard line. With 6.5 minutes left to play in this third quarter, still a 16-0 game. Chargers have 2 passing touchdowns after last week. They scored 10 touchdowns, including 8 on the ground. The running game hasn't been going quite as much for the Chargers here tonight, and you have to give credit to Catalyst Maria. A bigger line out there for the Wolves, and they've been able to limit that running game. And the Chargers have resorted to the pass a bit more than they had to last week. And the pass defense also stepping up for the Wolves. A small roster, but a roster that is really showing a lot of fight out there for Catalyst Maria. And it's still just a 2-possession game. The Wolves will start at their own 20 with 6:30 to play in this third quarter. Randolph in that pistol formation. Robinson comes in motion from right to left. It's a handoff to Rule, and he gets about 4.
Handoff up the middle, gets 5 yards, 2nd and 5.
So it'll actually be 2nd down and 5 for Catalyst Maria. As DeMonte Rule has had a lot of carries tonight for the Wolves, but when you've got a team as small as they do, you have to be able to play that much. Randolph in the shotgun. Man comes in motion. Rule will take another handoff up the middle, and he gets a couple closer to a 1st down, but it'll be 3rd and maybe 3. Actually make it 2 here for the Wolves. A couple of Chargers were in on that tackle, Jordan Timms and Antonio Hardaway. 3rd down and 3 for Catalyst Maria. Under 5.5 minutes left to play in this third quarter in a 16-0 ball game that the Chargers lead. Looking for their 2nd consecutive win on homecoming, which would be a first in program history for St. Joe. Randolph is in the shotgun. Rule beside him in the backfield. 3 receivers, 2 to the left and 1 to the right. They fake the handoff, and Randolph is stopped in the backfield as he was trying to run it himself. And making that stop in the backfield is Mekhi Eland, who we've seen make a couple of big plays back there for the Chargers. Now the Wolves are going to be forced to punt from inside their own territory, and the Chargers continue to control that field position game, but they just haven't been able to punch it in this second half in a quick-moving third quarter. 4.5 minutes left to play here in the third. A little bit of a high snap and a short punt. It'll take a bounce at the 40-yard line and go out of bounds at the 46. And that is where the Chargers will start with it. Again, we have seen St. Joe tonight with great field position, but just those 2 touchdowns and the 2 two-point conversions to give them the 16-0 lead. They'll actually mark the ball at the 45. And Hayden is back out there for the Chargers. Shotgun formation, trips to the right, one receiver to the left is Dakota Church. Hayden going with a bubble screen here to Javonte Bright, and Bright able to pick up a first down, and he's all the way to the 30-yard line. Or rather, that was Brandon Pickett.
Results in a St. Joe's first down.
My apologies there. That was Brandon Pickett, not Javonte Bright. Javonte Bright was wearing 23 last week. 1st and 10 for St. Joe's at the 30-yard line as they hand it off here to Pickett. And he is stopped after a short gain, maybe 4 yards there. Or rather, that was Ratliff who was on the carry there. So 2nd down and 6. As there will be some confusion tonight as the Chargers have new uniforms coming in just today. A couple of players changed numbers. Hayden looking for Church, and he finds him for the first down, trying to make some cuts, reversing field, trying to find that corner. A flag is thrown as he's near the sideline inside the 10-yard line. This could be a hold, but the first down will probably count. The flag was thrown well after Church had picked up the first down. He caught that ball past the first down marker, but then as he was trying to make his way towards the opposite side of the field, the flag was thrown. We'll see what the call is. It's a personal foul against St. Joseph.
Personal foul called on the Chargers.
So that'll push the ball back 15 yards. Rich Petrosky getting an explanation now from the officials as they march the ball back to the 30-yard line of Catalyst Maria.
15-yard walk-off brings the ball back to the original line of scrimmage.
So the ball is brought back to the original line of scrimmage, and it's still 2nd down. Trips to the right for Hayden. One man in the backfield with him, and one receiver out to his left. Hayden will hand it off here, and Ratliff is able to get about 6 yards there on the right side.
Malik Williams on the carry brings up 3rd down. 25 is Malik Williams. Josh Ratliff's on crutches.
So rather, that was Malik Williams who had the run there for the Chargers. As it's 3rd down and 4, Hayden in the shotgun with Williams still in the backfield, and this play is blown dead. Timeout may have been called. Let's find out here. As the officials gather to discuss. We're not sure what the stoppage. Initially, it looked to me like St. Joseph had called a timeout, but that's not what the signal is. It may have just been a little bit of. And now they're officially going to stop things and timeout St. Joseph. So after a little bit of a conundrum there, the Chargers eventually do use their first time out of the second half. Still 16-0 with 2:28 remaining here in the third quarter. The Chargers with the lead for their homecoming game. And tonight's game is brought to you by Meatheads, the official sponsor of St. Joseph Chargers football programming. We provide a full-service, made-to-order dining experience serving high-quality, fresh, never-frozen ingredients, including 100% Angus beef hamburgers, hand-breaded chicken tenders, and chicken sandwiches, as well as real Idaho potatoes freshly cut every day. Meatheads at 143 North York Street in Elmhurst. Third quarter of tonight's game is also brought to you by CleaverSupplements.com. Cleaver Supplements for when genetics are not enough. 2:28 remaining here in the third quarter. A 3rd down and 4 upcoming here for the Chargers at the 26-yard line of Catalyst Maria. St. Joseph has not been able to score in this second half. They had that 16-0 lead going into the locker room at halftime. Offense is back out on the field. Trips to the right for Hayden. One receiver to the left. He's looking right. Now he goes back left to Dakota Church, and he drops it, and it was nearly intercepted by DeMonte Rule.
Pass intended for Dakota Church, tipped, almost intercepted.
So now it'll be 4th down and 4, but a St. Joseph player is down. And he's able to get back up on his feet. So no timeout there as Antonio Hardaway comes out onto the field to play offensive line. So 4th down and 4. Important play here for both teams. Hayden in the shotgun. Hands it off up the middle, and that is stuffed. Another turnover on downs, and once again the Catalyst Maria defense has come up big. So the Wolves get the ball back. You have to give so much credit to this Catalyst Maria defense and really the entire team with a roster of just about 15 players going up against a much bigger opponent, and they have really held their own here in the third quarter. Still a 2-possession game. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line of Catalyst Maria for the Wolves. 4 receivers out wide, 1 man in the backfield. And a handoff here to Rule. Rule has some space. He picks up the 1st down and more. He's near the 45-yard line of Catalyst Maria. A gain of about 16 there for the Wolves. Boy, DeMonte Rule has been impressive at the running back position for Catalyst Maria. That's been their bread and butter on offense tonight. Haven't been able to get the passing game going other than the one long pass to A.J. Robinson. They're just keeping it on the ground. You know, for as small of a roster as Catalyst Maria has, they do have a bit of size on that offensive line. And that's what's opening up those holes for DeMonte Rule. Randolph in the shotgun. 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. 1:30 remaining here in the third quarter. Throws a screen to the left to Robinson. Robinson is stopped maybe at the line of scrimmage as Zach Ford was there coming up from the safety spot to make the play. And that's what you love to see from a safety, being able to read that screen pass and make the stop. And Zion Timms also got in on the action to make the play for the Chargers, as it'll be 2nd down and 10 for Catalyst Maria with just a minute remaining in this third quarter. Just 50 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. As quarterback Stacy Randolph comes back to the huddle from the sideline. Ball control has been the name of the game for the Wolves, keeping it away from this St. Joe offense, but right now they face a 2nd and 10 from their own 44. Randolph in the shotgun, 4 receivers out wide. They go with a little bubble screen, and it's intercepted by Malik Mason. He's taking it back to the house. Pick 6, Malik Mason. And the Chargers lead it 22-0. Well, I said it earlier. He goes by a couple of different names. His birth name's Harrell. His nickname's Malik. Call him whatever you want. He's having himself a whale of a ball game tonight, and he gives the Chargers a 22-0 lead with the 44-yard interception return for a touchdown. Read that screen perfectly and intercepted it, and there was no one there for the Wolves to stop him as he took it all the way to the house. And now out there for the extra point. Snap is good. Kick is up, and it is good by a new kicker for the Chargers. It's Tim Shannon, and he makes it to make it 23-0 Chargers. What a play there by Mason with 24.2 seconds left in the third quarter. It's 23-0 Chargers. Well, when the offense is stalling out a bit, why not have the defense score 6 points? As the Chargers, last week they had a couple of defensive touchdowns called back due to penalty flags, but there were no flags on this play as Malik Mason took it all the way to the house to give the Chargers now a 3-possession lead. Zach Ford is back out for the kickoff. And again, you still have to give credit to Catalyst Maria for staying tight in this ball game. But at the same time, as the clock dwindles, they're going to have to turn to that passing game, and we've already seen 3 interceptions tonight from the St. Joseph defense, 4 turnovers in total. And that one led to 6 points. Ford back out for the kickoff with 24.2 remaining in the third quarter. Robinson and Sandifer back deep for the Wolves. Bit of a high kick near the sideline. Takes a bounce at the 15, and it's picked up near the sideline. Boy, head coach Steve Dunlap is going to have a talk with A.J. Robinson because that ball was going to go out of bounds. A.J. Robinson picked it up at about the 6-yard line and then stepped out of bounds. Oh, that is a crucial mistake as they would have had the ball at their own 35-yard line. Instead, they're inside their own 10. And this is a point where the Wolves are maybe letting this game get away from them a bit. Backed up near their own end zone. This is a dangerous territory, especially considering that St. Joseph defensively has made a few plays in the Wolf backfield. The Chargers are able to pick up a sack or a tackle for loss. It could be a safety, which the Chargers had one of last week against South Beloit in the second half. 23-0 is the score with 23 seconds left in this third quarter. Randolph is in the shotgun with 4 receivers out wide, 1 man in the backfield with him. Still awaiting the whistle to restart play from the officials. Not sure what the reason is for the stoppage. But starting from their own 6-yard line, a tough situation here for the Wolves. Snap taken by Randolph, hands it off up the middle, and maybe getting out to about the 8-yard line there is DeMonte Rule. And that could be the last play of the third quarter as the clock winds down under 10 and now under 5 seconds. That will do it for the third quarter. The St. Joseph Chargers leading on homecoming night 23-0 over Catalyst Maria Charter. And it's about to be the fourth quarter, and what does that mean, folks? It's the money quarter, and that is brought to you by Forrester Bank. Tonight's game is also brought to you, as always, by Meatheads in Elmhurst. Meatheads is the official sponsor of St. Joseph Chargers football programming. We provide a full-service, made-to-order dining experience serving high-quality, fresh, never-frozen ingredients, including 100% Angus beef hamburgers, hand-breaded chicken tenders, and chicken sandwiches, as well as real Idaho potatoes freshly cut every day. Meatheads at 143 North York Street in Elmhurst. Well, at halftime, the score was 16-0 as St. Joe's offense hasn't been able to get as much going as they were last week. So they had the defense pick up 6 points as Malik Mason had an interception return for a touchdown. He read a screen pass perfectly, took it away before it could get into the hands of running back DeMonte Rule, and it led to a touchdown for the Chargers. As we begin the fourth quarter, Catalyst Maria starting backed up in their own territory at about their own 8-yard line. 2nd down and 8 here for the Wolves. In the shotgun is Randolph. Rule with him in the backfield. 4 receivers out wide for the Wolves. Randolph takes a snap, hands it off to Rule, and he gets a couple there. So a 3rd and manageable for the Wolves at least, and they're probably trying to be a bit careful to avoid a sack as they're out to the 12-yard line now.
Coming up for Catalyst Maria.
3rd down here for the Wolves. 3rd and 5. From their own 12-yard line. 4 receivers out wide for Catalyst Maria. Randolph hands it off to Rule. Breaks a tackle initially, but then a group of tacklers come in to make the play for the Chargers.
Quartet of Chargers on the tackle.
They are going to give him forward progress, but that means he just got back to the line of scrimmage, so it'll be an obvious punting situation for the Wolves. However, trailing 23-0, will they go for it? Probably not, this deep in their own territory, as they find themselves at their own 12-yard line, and they'll have to punt yet again. Zach Ford back deep to return for the Chargers at the 45-yard line of Catalyst Maria. Low snap, a little trouble with it, and a short punt that bounces at about the 29 and out of bounds at the 34-yard line of Catalyst Maria. So great starting field position once again for St. Joseph with 10:26 to play here in the fourth quarter. And the fourth quarter of tonight's game is brought to you in part by CleaverSupplements.com. Cleaver Supplements for when genetics are not enough. 23-0 the score as the Chargers find themselves in front on homecoming night. Caleb Hayden in the shotgun. 1 receiver to his right, trips to the left. And with him in the backfield is Malik Williams. The handoff is to Williams. Faces some pressure in the backfield initially, but he's able to pick up a couple of yards out to about the 32.
Malik Williams on the carry. Picks up 2 yards.
So it'll be 2nd down and 8 with just about 10 minutes remaining in the ball game. 23-0. The score as Hayden's in the shotgun. Malik Williams in the backfield with him. 3 receivers out to the left for the Chargers. Handoff to Williams. Williams trying to find space, but a couple of Catalyst Maria tacklers are there, including Roderick Pulfis up the middle. So it'll be a 3rd and about 9 here for the Chargers. Actually make that 3rd and 10, as they're going to say Malik Williams lost a yard there. Hayden in the shotgun, Williams with him in the backfield. 3 receivers to the left, Malik Mason out to the right. Snap is taken by Hayden, looking towards the middle of the field, and they're going to say that ball hit the ground as Desmond McPhail tried to trap it, but it's ruled incomplete. 4th down and 10 for the Chargers. They are at the 34-yard line, so this is kind of one of those in-between situations, and they're going to go for it here. 4 receivers out wide for St. Joe, 1 man in the backfield with Hayden. Hayden looking to the left, going for the end zone, and it's intercepted near the goal line. Intercepted by Catalyst Maria, and they're looking for a return from Darius Turner, but he's brought down at his own 24-yard line. So Caleb Hayden throws his first interception of the night. So the Wolves will take over as that was kind of just a desperation throw on 4th and 10. And the Wolves will have possession yet again, trying to find a way to work their way back into this ball game. They trail 23-0 with 9:08 remaining here in the fourth quarter, and they will take a timeout. Glad to be with you here tonight from Langhorse Field at Elmhurst College. If you're just joining us, in the first half, St. Joe put up 16 points, 2 passing touchdowns from Caleb Hayden. And that was the score at halftime. And then in the third quarter, Malik Mason with a pick 6 to put the Chargers ahead 22-0. And then the extra point by Tim Shannon was good. That's the first time we've seen Shannon out there as a kicker this season. Normally it's been Zach Ford, and Ford is still handling the kickoff and punting duties for the Chargers. But it was intriguing to see a different kicker out there for St. Joe, and Shannon did convert on his first attempt. Catalyst Maria offense is coming back out onto the field with a 1st and 10. And they have to score on this possession to stay in this ball game, trying to make it a 2-possession game as they trail 23-0. They're on their own 24-yard line with 1st and 10. As Stacy Randolph is back in the shotgun, or running back behind him, 4 receivers out wide for the Wolves. The running back is Rule. Randolph facing pressure. He's sacked and he fumbles. The Chargers are on it, and it is Makai Eland. He'll take this to the end zone. The second defensive touchdown of the second half for the Chargers. Wow, what a half for this defense. A 26-yard fumble return for a touchdown, and that'll make it 29-0. So Malik Mason and Makai Eland both with defensive touchdowns for the Chargers in this second half, and they have matched the scoring of the St. Joe offense in this ball game. Impressive performance from this defense, as well as pitching a shutout thus far. Here with 8:58 remaining in the game, and Tim Shannon is on for the extra point, looking to make it a 30-point margin, and now Caleb Hayden has to come out on the field to hold for the extra point. This could be a delay of game. He has to rush back on the field. I don't think he realized he had to get back out there for his holder duty. But he is back there in time. Snap is good. Hold is down. Kick is up, and it is blocked and is blown dead. So the score will remain at 29-0 with 8:58 remaining here in the game after the fumble return for a touchdown by Makai Eland. Scoring in this second half for the Chargers both times has been by the defense. First, an interception return by Malik Mason, 44 yards. And there a 26-yard fumble return for the touchdown. 5 turnovers have been forced by St. Joe tonight. 3 interceptions and 2 fumbles and 2 defensive touchdowns. Boy, those are Alabama defense type numbers from this St. Joseph D. Of course, Catalyst Maria is no SEC opponent, but when we're talking about high school football, you couldn't ask for a much better performance from this defense. And Zach Ford is back out there for the kickoff for the Chargers from his own 40-yard line. Defensive coordinator Taywon Brown has to be extremely happy with the performance of this defense. As Zach Ford's back out there for the kickoff from the St. Joe 40-yard line. A.J. Robinson and K.J. Sandifer back deep for the Wolves. Ford's kick, it's a low liner, and it's caught at about the 25-yard line by Rule. Goes to the far sideline and is pushed out of bounds at about the 35 of Catalyst Maria. With 8:51 to play, the Wolves will take over. Desperation mode right now for Catalyst Maria as they trail 29-0. 29, kind of a unique score. The Chargers do have 4 touchdowns. On the first 2, they had 2 extra points. Then they made an extra point, or rather 2 two-point conversions. They made the extra point on their third touchdown, and then the extra point was blocked after the last touchdown. So it'll be first down for the Wolves at their own 35 here with 8:51 left to play in this homecoming game for the Chargers, looking to become the first team in program history to win 2 consecutive homecoming games. Randolph in the shotgun, 4 receivers out wide, Rule with him in the backfield. Handoff is to Rule, and he picks up 5, maybe 6 there for the Wolves on first down. Boy, DeMonte Rule has been impressive at running back for the Wolves, taking carry after carry, and he continues to show a good burst out of the backfield. And he's been really the only running back we've seen for the Wolves. We've seen a couple of end arounds from A.J. Robinson, but at the running back spot, it's been exclusively Rule. 4 receivers out wide for the Wolves, and Rule in the backfield with Randolph. Randolph takes snap, hands it off to Rule, and he's spinning his way near a first down, and it looks like he has it at about the 45-yard line of Catalyst Maria. And they're going to, let's see the ruling here. It looks to me like it was a first down, and they're going to give him the first down. Bit of confusion there from the chain gang, and they will indeed move it for the first down. 7:40 left to play in the game. Still 29-0. And at this point, you would think that Catalyst Maria would shift to a no huddle, but they're still huddling up for each play, which will continue to run this clock down. In the shotgun is Randolph. 4 receivers out wide, Rule in the backfield. And Rule will take it, and he is going to be stopped for a loss. A couple of different Chargers in there. Zach Ford came up from the safety spot to make the initial hit. It looked like Jordan Timms was also in there. Under 7 minutes left in the ball game. 2nd down and 11 for the Wolves. And again, they're just taking their time. And of course, at this point, it would be unlikely that they'll be able to come back in this ball game, but you would think they would shift to a hurry up, but that just may not be what they're comfortable with. But each play, they're taking at least 30 seconds off of the clock, having to have Randolph run to the sideline and come back to the huddle with the play. Randolph is in the shotgun, 4 receivers out wide, Rule in the backfield with him. Randolph takes the snap, looking to pass and trying to go deep, looking for Robinson at about the 40-yard line, and overthrown. Desmond McPhail was there on the coverage for the Chargers.
Ball's incomplete, bringing up a 3rd down.
So it'll be 3rd and long now for the Wolves. A 3rd down and 11 to be exact. From their own 44-yard line with 6:22 left to play in the ball game. After the incomplete pass. And Stacy Randolph will trot back from the sideline to the huddle. As I can see right now, quarterback Ezekiel Busi is warming up on the sideline for St. Joe. We may see him come in on the next offensive possession for the Chargers. Randolph takes a snap, and he's going to be sacked. Shamar McDade Bishop makes the sack. The ball came out, but he was already down. And McDade Bishop continues to have a huge game for the Chargers, who are glad to have him back on the defensive line, using that size and speed to put pressure on the quarterback. And we've seen him line up at linebacker in this game as well and still continue to put pressure on the QB. The Wolves are out there with the punt team with 5 minutes and just about 45 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. 29-0 is the score. Zach Ford back deep to return the punt at about his own 25. Low snap, and it's a very low kick as well, as it will land at just about midfield. That was a very short punt there, and it may have been blocked by the Chargers. Maybe just hit a body in there, as they had good penetration on the punt team. So the Chargers will take over with the 29-0 lead and 5:26 remaining in the game. And Ezekiel Busi is into the game at quarterback, the freshman who last week scored his first varsity touchdown and Was talking to Coach Rich Petrosky on his show about that last night, and he said, that's a great moment for him to gain confidence as a varsity football player. He has that first touchdown out of the way. In the backfield with Boosie is Zion Timms and a few receivers out there as well. Timms will take the carry and gets 2 on first down. Out to about the 49-yard line of Catalyst Maria, but a player is down for the Chargers, and it might be Shamar McDade Bishop. We already saw him hurt his arm a little bit earlier in this game. Well, you hope he didn't re-aggravate that same thing. He's shaking it off for the time being. Taking a walk back towards the sideline, trying to stretch out that arm. And it looks like he's staying out there. Well, but now actually the coaching staff will call him back. And with the 29-0 lead, you would think they would want to protect Shamar McDade Bishop here after he's already gone down a couple of times. Under 5 minutes left in the game. 2nd and 10. Boosie looking to pass, and it was nearly caught by Ford, but it went off his hands. Could have been intercepted there by Darius Turner off of that deflection, but it just falls incomplete. So it'll be 3rd and about 9 here from the 49-yard line of Catalyst Maria for the Chargers. Chargers moving from left to right offensively here at Langhorst Field. With 4:42 remaining in the game, Boosie in the shotgun. Man comes in motion. It's Desmond McPhail. They'll give it to him on a little sweep. McPhail has some space. Cutting back up the middle. He has the first down. Bounces off another tackle. And he is all the way to about the 36-yard line of Catalyst Maria. But there is a flag down, and the initial signal is holding. Chargers are marching back, and Desmond McPhail is shaking his head saying, man, I just made a great play there, but it looks like it's coming back. Holding is the call, so now it'll be 3rd and about 19 for the Chargers with under 4.5 minutes left to play in the ball game. St. Joe still leading it 29-0. 2 defensive touchdowns in the second half after the 2 passing touchdowns by Caleb Hayden in the first half. McPhail comes in motion. Boosie looking to pass. Looking for the short one to Ford. He makes the catch on the near sideline, and he is able to pick up the first down. So the short pass to Ford goes for a big gain for over 20 yards as they pick up the 3rd and long to continue this drive. And now with 4 minutes remaining, we'll see what the Chargers try to do here with the 29-0 lead. Zion Timms in the backfield with Boosie. 4 receivers out there. Boosie looking to pass, rolling right, and this is going to be intercepted. It was right into the hands of a Catalyst Maria defender, Leo Morales, for the interception. With 3:52 remaining here in the fourth quarter, the Wolves will take over on offense. But that's something with you have a young freshman quarterback just trying to learn the system. That's the kind of mistake that a freshman will make. Misjudged the defense there and ended up making a mistake, but Ezekiel will learn from it and continue to grow as a quarterback because he made a really smart play on the 3rd and long to Zach Ford, finding him with the check down to get that 3rd and long, but there he makes the interception. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Wolves at their own 42-yard line with 3:52 left in the game. They currently trail 29-0 to the Chargers as Randolph will fake the handoff, go with the reverse to Robinson. Robinson breaks a tackle, trying to break another one, and finally Antonio Hardaway was able to bring him down, but not before Robinson was able to pick up about 17 yards and push himself into Charger territory at the 43-yard line of St. Joe. And the Chargers trying to maintain this shutout with 3.5 minutes to play. Under 3.5 minutes left. Catalyst Maria trying to put a point on the board. Randolph in the shotgun, 4 receivers out wide. Rule in the backfield with Randolph. They hand it off to him, and he's up the middle for a nice gain. Looks like he got about 6 yards, maybe 7 there.
Hardaway and Eland on the tackle. 7-yard gain for Catalyst.
It is a gain of 7, so it'll be 2nd down and 3 with under 3 minutes left to play in the game. But again, Catalyst Maria still huddling up each and every play. At this point, a win would be nothing short of miraculous, a comeback for Catalyst Maria, but you would think you'd see a little bit more urgency from Catalyst Maria. But 2.5 minutes left to play in the game. Randolph in the shotgun, 4 receivers out wide, and back behind him is DeMonte Rule. They fake to Rule, go with an end around to Sandifer, and Sandifer has some space, has a first down and more, and is dragged down inside the 25-yard line. So with 2:12 to play, the Wolves are threatening to end this shutout. Randolph comes back from the sideline to the huddle. Under 2 minutes left. The Wolves in a race against that clock if they want to put up some points. St. Joe defense trying to pitch its 2nd consecutive shutout. Randolph in the shotgun, 4 wide receivers. They hand off to Rule. He fumbles, and St. Joe is on it. Shamar McDade Bishop recovers the fumble and the 6th turnover of the ball game will end the scoring threat for Catalyst Maria. And for the 2nd consecutive week, the St. Joseph defense has clinched a shutout with 1:39 left. The offense for the Chargers will come back onto the field, and with a 29-0 lead, you would think this would be time for the victory formation to come out, or maybe a chance for Ezekiel Boosie to get some experience at quarterback once again. 1:39 left in the game, still 29-0 Chargers. Boosie in the shotgun. 4 receivers out wide. They'll hand it off to Timms, Zion Timms, and he gets a couple. Chargers will just let that clock continue to run. Under 1:30 left now in this ball game. And you can be sure that the Chargers will take their time with this next snap. Clock approaching now, just 1 minute left in the game. The handoff goes to Timms, breaks a couple of tackles, and he is up to the 35-yard line. He has a first down for the Chargers, and that first down will now certainly allow the Chargers to run out the rest of this clock. But they're just going to get some experience for their younger players. Zion Timms at running back. Under a minute to play now, 1st and 10. The handoff is to Timms. He has some space. Using that speed, he's all the way out to midfield, and the ball came out, but he was down before that fumble. So he's into Catalyst Maria territory with 45 seconds left in the ball game. 29-0 the score as the clock winds down. Lucy at quarterback. Timms in the backfield with him, and 4 wide receivers. The handoff to Timms, and he maybe lost a yard there. And that could be the last play of the ball game as the Chargers are beginning to line up. The offense will head back to the sideline, and that will do it for this one as the handshake line begins to form. A 29-0 win for the St. Joseph Chargers on homecoming. For the first time in St. Joseph history, they have won 2 consecutive homecoming games, and they improved their record on the season to 2-1. Perhaps most impressively, this defense has shut out opponents for 8 consecutive quarters, and tonight, 6 turnovers forced by this defense, including 2 defensive touchdowns, an interception return by Malik Mason, and a fumble return by Makai Elan. Both went for 6 points. And those were the two scores in the second half after St. Joseph led 16-0 in the first half. 2 touchdown passes tonight for Caleb Hayden. Player of the game tonight is going to be Malik Mason, who had that interception return for a touchdown. Also made some plays offensively. Just a really impressive performance all around by Mason, but this entire team as well. Shamar McDade Bishop looked impressive returning to the lineup. Moved around a bit between defensive line, linebacker, and also offensive line, and was able to be versatile for this Charger team. And that was really exciting to see from him. So we will be back with you for a short interview with Coach Rich Petrosky. He's going to come up to the press box to talk to us for a bit. A 29-0 final score, and we'd like to remind you once again that tonight's game is brought to you by Meatheads at 143 North York Street in Elmhurst. For all of us here at Arena Sports Network, I'm Connor Klingon saying so long from Longhurst Field, where the final score is 29-0. St. Joseph with a victory over Catalyst Maria.